Is there ever a completely cross-functional team? Today's 5-minute short. I'm Joshua Barnes, joined by Al Shalloway. And so first off, right, when we say cross-functional, fully cross-functional team or completely cross-functional team, right, a team that would have team members with all the skills and experience to be able to deliver whatever the value it is that they're trying to produce, right? So we'd have it's like the gold standard or maybe the platinum standard from a value creation perspective. Al, I know that you've seen this before, or you've seen teams that are maybe a fully cross-functional team. But how about you share what you've seen and then also what you haven't seen?
Yeah, well, it's interesting. The very first team I actually taught Scrum to was done in an ad hoc fashion. I'd been brought in to actually do some patterns training in architecture, and I heard how they were talking to each other and realized, boy, these guys really need to understand Scrum and Agile. This was back, I think, 2001, maybe 2000. And they were a fully cross-functional team. They were building some work that was going to just get put out inside the company's internal system. And I taught them Scrum in about an hour or two. And that's not surprising. As they say, Scrum is simple. Use it as is. And that, you can. If you've got a fully cross-functional team that's actually building a new product, which is the design, that's what it's been designed for, that's true. Unfortunately, it's rarely used that way anymore. Most of the time, it's building and maintaining existing products. It's not fully cross-functional, which may explain why Scrum is simple to understand and difficult to master. I mean, I hate to say these digs, but it's because Scrum is rarely used where it was designed for, and this is not acknowledged much. Fully cross-functional teams, when you have all the skills you need to do the work, and when they exist, which is rare, Scrum works really great. So what you need to know is what to do when you don't have fully cross-functional teams. And this is an important lesson. And my feeling is this isn't that hard to learn either, but you need an understanding of universal principles that come from flow, lean, theory of constraints, which are not incorporated into Scrum, and actually which turns out to have a different mindset. In other words, you don't create a framework from within which you work to figure out what you need, but you have a set of universal principles that can guide you. So the answer is, yeah, if you have a fully cross-functional team, which is wonderful, they do exist. They don't exist much in today's space where Agile's all over the place. They happen. And when you don't have them, you've got to recognize that the intra-team dynamics, how teams work amongst themselves, is quite different than inter-team dynamics. And it'd be great if people could team of teams concept would work, but most HR doesn't allow for that because people tend to focus on what they're doing. It's a focus on local optimization. There's not the big picture. But I will say this, the lessons of fully cross-functional teams are very critical. This is, in fact, what led me to say back in 2007 that Scrum can be thought of as a partial implementation of Lean. And I said that back then because I noticed when you have fully cross-functional teams, you don't have a lot of handoffs, except when you do, the person next to you that you're handing it off is aware of what you're working on and is ready to take it. So there's not a delay. There's a lot of room for cooperation. There's a lot of visibility of the work because it's all within that team. There are a few delays in workflow. And if you look at what truly cross-functional teams give you, they can provide insights on how you need to be working across multiple teams. In fact, a lot of people don't actually recognize the concept of a truly cross-functional team. It comes from Lean. They called it a work cell. This was a big shift in manufacturing. In the way manufacturing used to work is you would have like one special guy who would know how to do something and hand off to the next person, the next person. There are many steps, multiple steps. Building a part that had like 6 steps might have 6 different machines doing it. And in Lean, what they had is they still might have 6 different machines, but you'd have one person managing all the machines working together so they could see what was going on. And in a sense, it's funny, the work cell was the number of machines working together under a person's supervision. But it was the idea that you're more interested in the holistic result of the part being built than maximizing each step. And this is something we see, oddly enough, in a lot of Scrum teams as well, is this focus on one step, individuals within the team instead of the whole collaboration. We have to remember what we're trying to accomplish here is teamwork, focusing on the full value. Anyway, I actually will want to, this topic in particular seemed appropriate for me to actually do a plug of one of my workshops that's starting this week, but you can start it any way you want to. It's actually designed to come in and out of anytime you want to because of the way it's designed for the professional coach's schedule. So again, I'll introduce a comment in it, but if you're interested in learning how to do teams better and how to solve the problem when you don't have fully cross-functional teams, you should look at the work Joshua and I are doing, and I'll add something to the comments on the LinkedIn post of this. Hope you found this valuable.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, everyone. If you do have any questions, I see there's a few in the chat. We will try and address those as quickly as possible, and we'll see you on the next 5 minute short.
Let's see.